What is up, Insaners, and welcome to another video of the Fantasy Premier League 2022-23 season. In this one, guys, we'll be covering our updated draft for Game Week 1. Make sure that you give this video a thumbs up if you like what you see today, guys. You can also subscribe to the channel to catch up on all the preseason content and have a strong start to the season. Now we'll start off the team with goalkeepers and then defenders, guys. Talking about goalkeepers, we have a 5 million goalkeeper in Mendy in this particular draft, along with a 4 million dud player. In terms of the goalkeeper options, guys, I think Mendy is one of the most valued player in the game this season. The only problem with Mendy is that he's not much of a saves kind of a keeper. I mean, he doesn't really make a lot of saves. Yes, he will give you clean sheet points, but there won't be a lot of times where he'll probably end up in the bonus. So essentially his games are probably a 2-pointer when he concedes a goal, or maybe more, or it could be only a 6-pointer. So what I'm trying to say here is that the ceiling is pretty less. I don't think so it's as high as maybe like a Raya or even a Sanchez for that matter. Nevertheless, guys, 5 million for a premium goalkeeper. We've tried to get him in this particular team, and I think the structure looks pretty good. In terms of our defenders, guys, it's pretty much similar to what we did in the last draft, with the likes of James, Trent and Cancelo retaining their positions and spot in our team. There's no way that I'm saying that all these three players are a must-have, but I think Trent is almost there. I think he's a nailed player in at least my squad. It's very difficult to kind of make a team without Trent, considering his attacking potential, along with how strong Liverpool can be defensively, so the clean sheet potential is also pretty high. The fixtures are really good, guys. I think there's a lot of potential for FPL points from Trent, and I would definitely want to have him at least. Now you can make a case for Cancelo, guys, whether he should be in your FPL team or not. Yes, there are some slightly cheaper alternatives available for Man City, but as I said in the last video, in my first draft video, I think Cancelo is still the best of them. Now in case if we are able to get that nailed player, that nailed fullback, in the likes of Walker, guys, I think Walker at 5 million could represent a lot of value. There are still rumors that Cucurella would sign for Man City. There are advanced talks happening, and if that happens, I think it'll be pretty interesting to see what happens to that Man City fullbacks and the defense, but I think Walker still could represent decent value. In terms of the other options, we have James. Again, as I said in the last video, guys, I think there is potential for him to get benched or even come off a little bit earlier, maybe around the 60th minute mark, now that we have the 5 substitution rule. Tuchel would want to keep him fresh for most important games and would probably want to rest him when it's required. In terms of the other options, guys, we've gone with PERISIC here, who could be a nail starter as a Tottenham wingback. We recently heard rumors that there are chances that Reguilon might leave the club, and I don't think so Sessegnon would be first choice. Though Sessegnon could absolutely compete with Perisic for that spot, guys, and there could be a chance that he might get more minutes than Perisic. We all know how Conte plays with his wingbacks, guys. There's a lot of attacking potential as they bomb forward, they do a lot of attacking work, and that spells really good from an FPL perspective. Now talking specifically about Perisic, guys, his record, his goal scoring numbers have also been pretty good, and I don't think so any defender, any Premier League defender comes close to that. Just to give you some idea, he's averaged 0.23 goals per 90 during the last 2 seasons. Now the only Premier League defender that even comes close to these numbers is Marcus Alonso at 0.18. As we all know, guys, there's 6 points for a goal scored by a defender, so there's a lot of potential here. Another thing that we've seen with Conte, guys, is that he's immensely improved Tottenham's defense, and it is probably the next best defense after Man City and Liverpool. So all in all, the clean sheet potential is also looking pretty good, and if you combine both, guys, you can get an absolutely crazy pick in Perisic, who could provide a lot of value at 5.5. The only concern with Perisic is the number of starts, guys, especially when Conte has someone like a Sessegnon to fill up the ranks. Guys, I think the preseason should give us some idea, but I think he's definitely one player that we should all keep a close eye on. Now, like the last draft, guys, we've gone a bit heavy in defense in this draft as well, but rather than having 5 playing defenders and maybe playing a 5-4-1, we're probably playing a 4-4-2 in this formation. The 5th defender that we have is Nico Williams, guys, who's gonna play for Nottingham Forest. He could be a starting wing back, and I think that also represents a lot of FPL points, maybe not so much from a clean sheet perspective, but I think if he could get some attacking returns here and there, I think he could represent a lot of value at only 4 million. Guys, we generally don't get a lot of starting players for 4 million, especially a defender, so this could be a high value pick. Now coming to the midfield, guys, here we've not gone for Saka, we've gone for Martinelli, we've taken the downgrade, we've saved some money, and we've invested that elsewhere. I think Martinelli should start majority of the games. Yes, there is a slight worry that he might share minutes with Emil Smith-Rowe. I think more of an issue with the Arsenal attack, with the Arsenal team right now, is that right now we don't know how Martinelli, Gabriel Jesus and the likes of Saka are going to fit in together. From whatever we've seen so far in one of the pre-season friendlies that Arsenal has played, guys, the likes of Martinelli played really well, and I think this should be good from an FPL perspective as well. If we can nail that winger spot, guys, I think there's a lot of potential here and we can get great value. In the other picks, guys, we've gone for Salah and Luis Diaz as the Liverpool attacking double up. Now, this could be a bit risky. Of course, I'm not saying Salah is probably going to be risky. He's a great option. He's also a great captaincy option for most weeks. But I'm talking about Luis Diaz here. Guys, we still have to see how Liverpool play with the likes of Nunez, Jota and Diaz. Of course, we know how Salah is going to play, but I think the preseason friendlies will be very interesting to see how this all pans out. In my opinion, Luis Diaz should get majority of the minutes on the left hand side for Liverpool, and if he's getting majority minutes, if he's nailed, we've all seen what he's done in the past last season. There could be FPL points, but again, he has to be a bit consistent. Guys, going for him might be a bit risky as compared to maybe like a Mount, for example, maybe even Kulusevski, who has a great Game Week 1 fixture, but I think it might be just worth the risk. Here, in terms of the other options, we've gone for Pedro Neto from Wolves as a popular pick, as he's already become an FPL this season. Now, I understand a lot of people don't understand the hype of Neto, considering that Wolves don't really score a lot of goals. And you're absolutely right, guys. Wolves don't score a lot of goals, they create chances, but the finishing has been really bad. To be honest, the overall underlying stats are also not that promising. So why are we considering Neto? Guys, if you're not having 8 million midfielder spots, you'll most probably be having a 6 or maybe even a 5.5 midfielder spot open in your team. Now, when we look at some options in that price category, guys, I still feel Martinelli is the standout one. But now that we already have Martinelli in our team and we have another 5.5 spot open here, I think Neto has to be the best option. If you look at all the other players in the same category, guys, Neto has decent underlying stats. There's absolutely no chance that he's lived up to his potential from a footballing sense. Even FPL wise, I think there's a lot more to come from him. And this season, if he can stay fit, I think he should get you some good FPL points. Now, the last option that we have here is Pereira, guys, who's 4.5 million. I think he's going to be a very popular pick, considering that a lot of people, a lot of managers would be having a fifth midfielder option available and they would want to probably go for a cheaper one so that they can invest money elsewhere. Now, in terms of the attack, in terms of forwards, guys, we've gone for Gabriel Jesus and Haaland as a playing two up top. Now, of course, the preseason games should give us an idea in terms of what kind of positions are the likes of Jesus and Haaland taking in their respective teams, in the respective setup, and how are they playing those matches. But I think I'm pretty confident in both picks from the start. Though in no way, guys, it's an absolute certainty that both of them will probably stay till the end. I mean, that could of course happen, but that could change as well. From whatever I've read and seen so far, guys, I think there are high chances that Gabriel Jesus should start majority games. I know the 5 substitution rule exists from this season, but still I have a feeling that he's going to get majority minutes and he's probably going to fit right into the Arsenal setup and help us from an FPL perspective. There is no question that he's going to get a lot more game time than what he did at Man City, and we've already seen, guys, he's a clinical finisher. He scores a lot of goals if he's playing, if he's fit, and I think he's a good pick to go for. Now, coming to Haaland, I think Haaland also is a great option to go for. Yes, there are still a lot of doubts in terms of how is he going to adapt, what system is Pep going to play, and if he'll fit right into that system and start firing from game week 1. When you look at the pieces in isolation, guys, yes, City is probably the best attacking team in England. They've scored a lot of goals last season, and all of this is without playing a recognized number 9 in their 11. So of course, when you think of it, when they have a proper number 9, when they have the likes of Kevin De Bruyne creating a lot of chances, that means a lot of attacking potential, maybe a lot of goals for Haaland. And that can absolutely be true, guys. I think this decision will probably be finalized a lot closer to the deadline, where we're very confident about Haaland and his FPL potential. The split side to this is that the fixtures are not that great. I mean, somebody like a Harry Kane has better fixtures, but then there's all of this conversation going around Harry Kane in terms of that he's a slow starter in August and all of that. So if you are in that camp, you might not be able to get Harry Kane, or you might not be convinced with the potential of Harry Kane, and you'll end up going with Haaland. I said earlier guys, Haaland is not a bad pick, but there are a lot of unknowns right now which we might know closer to the deadline, and then this decision should look a lot better. So guys, what do you think about this team? Which teams and players are you targeting and avoiding for the start? Do let me know in the comments below. That'll be all from my side guys. Do smash the like button if you enjoyed today's video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well for more preseason content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in Saners next time.